what a move there. Walks it and shoots, scores! Mason McTavish!
That's a beauty.
They score! Power again!
He's got 3.
Great to begin an evening with Max and the Arkells. Edmonton, Alberta, on a day when Omicron reached the World Juniors down the road in Red Deer. But here, it's Canada versus Austria. First meeting since 1981 of this tournament, when the late, great Dale Hawerchuk led the Cornwall Royals, representing Canada as Memorial Cup champions, past Austria 11-1. As we say hello, Canada, and welcome to night 3 here at the World Juniors. James Duffy alongside Bob McKenzie and Jeff O'Neill on a day of concerning developments. Team USA forfeiting its game against Switzerland earlier today after 2 positive tests. They play Sweden tomorrow, so obviously major implications on a short tournament with only 10 teams. We'll have more developments throughout the night. But the positive is no other positive tests with the other teams, so Canada-Austria is a go, and Gord Miller and Ray Ferraro get you ready.
James, his nickname is Goal Perfetti, based on his goal-scoring prowess in the Ontario Hockey League, but really, Ray, Cole Perfetti is more of a playmaker.
Yeah, I see him as a distributor. He's been compared a little bit with the puck to Patrick Kane in that he'll hold on to it, he'll look for the late guy, and I think we saw a pretty good example of it the other day. I mean, this pass across the seam to Donovan Sabrango for the first of the comeback goals. Here he directs Owen Power to move over to the right so he can find him for the one-timer, and Power smashes it into the net. And then he's going to find a way to keep this play alive. The puck's at his feet, he dangles around, he finds the puck, and he moves it into the net. Now, he had 6 points in the tournament last year, but a pretty quiet performance. I thought, Gord, that was the first time we really saw what Cole Perfetti's all about. The puck comes onto his stick, it doesn't leave till he's ready for it to leave, and it's always in a good place.
Canada's only met Austria once at the World Junior Championship. That was back in 1981. Canada was represented by the Cornwall Royals. Dale Hawerchuk had 2 goals and an assist in an 11-1 win.
All right, thank you, boys. 2 Canadian forwards out tonight. Xavier Bourgault injured. Justin Sourdif suspended for a high hit. So, Bob, multiple line changes. What is Dave Cameron and his staff trying to accomplish?
One of the things they're trying to do by moving Maverick Bourque into center from the right wing position with Johnson and McTavish is to put Shane Wright onto the right side of the ice, take away some of his defensive responsibilities, and try to maybe give him a little more free-flowing offensive ability where he's not so worried about the defensive side of the game, and Bourque can insulate him and see if they get more offense from Shane Wright.
I think Canada's looking for some offensive consistency, James. Last game there was some McTavish, there was some Perfetti, and then other lines kind of were in their spot duty, spotty play, so they want to get 3 or 4 lines consistently, get to that physicality and offensive zone play.
And Brett Brochu of the London Knights starts in goal.
That's correct. Gets his opportunity to play. Dylan Durand is probably perceived as the #1 goalie for Team Canada, but Brochu will get the spread of stuff here.
Just 5'11" is Brett Brochu, but remember Devin Levi, 6 feet, was outstanding last year, the best goaltender in the entire tournament. It's the NHL scouts that like the taller goalies at this point in time, but World Juniors, not such a big factor. Canada versus Austria, just ahead from here in Edmonton. The Canadians looking to go to 2-0 and tie Finland on top of Group A.
The 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship is presented by Esso, proudly fueling Hockey Canada since 1984. By Nike, official gear of Canada's national hockey teams. By TELUS, we're using the power of our purpose to help make the world a better place. Together, let's make the future friendly. And by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Team Canada. The 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship is brought to you in part by Skip the Dishes. Cheer on our team in true Canadian style with your favorite order on Skip. the official food delivery app of Team Canada. It's game time, Canada. Let's get hungry. And by the 2022 Chevrolet Silverado, the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. Chevrolet, find new roads.
To Edmonton, day 3 of the 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship as Austria taking on Canada. The officials for today's game are 2 referees from the United States, Jake Rukuki and Sean Fernandez, linesman Joseph Spur from the Czech Republic, and Brett Mackey from Canada. So a Canadian linesman working a Canadian game. That's a new wrinkle in the IHF. Starting goaltender for Canada is 19-year-old Brett Brochu from Bell River, Ontario, just outside Windsor. Plays for the London Knights of the Ontario League. Has the #1 save percentage in the Ontario League this year. And Leon Sommer gets the start for Austria. Did not play in last year's tournament. He plays for Linz in the Alps Hockey League. And a man familiar with Austrian hockey is Dave Cameron, the Canadian head coach. The previous 3 years, the head coach of the Vienna Capitals of the Alps League. And behind the bench for Austria is Marco Pival, who saw his team lose 7-1 to Finland in its opener yesterday.
Oh, this is a big task for Austria to try and keep this as close as they can, as long as they can. And I found it interesting in that timeout the other day. Dave Cameron told his team, you can't win the tournament in 10 minutes. Let's just go play some good hockey.
Hey boys, where would you rather be on a Tuesday night? Let's have some fun. Giddy up.
Giddy up, time to go.
And away we go with Jake Rukuki with some panache to start the game. It's sent back down to the Austrian zone. Austrians hung in as long as they could against the Finns. The roof caved in on them in the 3rd period. But they do not play their #1 goaltender today, Radishitz, as Perfetti gets a shot away, rebound. And Shane Wright had that block. Now Caden Cooley with a shot, and Sommer makes the save on that. Wright with Maverick Bork and Cole Perfetti, the new forward line for Canada. Of course, Justin Sordoff has suspended 1 game for Canada. And Cooley just missed the hit there on Austria's Senna Peters, who did not play yesterday against the Finns, is back in today. So, Ray, we see this quite often in international hockey where teams will not play their #1 in a game they don't expect to win. Oh, what a move there. And a shot through the crease by Ridley Gregg.
They look at the games that they feel they've got the best chance to stay competitive in.
Now Seeley a long shot, and Sommer makes the save on that.
This line that Canada envisions as a energy line with Ridley Gregg and Jake Neighbors and Justin Sordoff has been realigned today with a Sordoff suspension. We saw a little glimpse of the pace that the Ottawa Senators' 2nd first-round draft pick, Ridley Gregg, plays with.
Here's Seeley back at the point, slides it across to Mason McTavish, and McTavish has had a couple of highlight reel goals here in Edmonton already, one in the pre-tournament, and the other night against the Czechs. Knocked down by Logan Stankovic, scoring star for the Kamloops Blazers of the Western League, a Kamloops native. Didn't play in Canada's first game, and now Stankovic slides that down the centering pass, just missed from Kent Johnson. Johnson back at the point for Seeley with his shot, and the save is made by Sommer.
It's a couple of good saves for Sommer, who hasn't left any rebounds, which is imperative if the puck's going to be in your end a lot. We saw the 3 goals of Owen Power the other day, and man, can he move around this. Don't forget, this is not a 5'10" defenseman here. We're looking at Owen Power at 6'5" and about 215 pounds. We saw Simon Edvinsson of the Swedes do the same thing. These guys are huge, and they get around the ice with such ease. And Buffalo must be just thrilled with the development and potential of Owen Power.
Connor Bedard a chance there. The puck bounced away from him. And now Van E with a chance and a quick shot there as he drops it off to Rappold. And Rappold's shot turned away by Brett Brochu.
Good for Brochu to get a save in early. The goaltender for the London Knights. He was playing junior C hockey 3 years ago. Last year had nowhere to play, and so he was working out in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton a little bit with Andy Chiodo, the Pittsburgh Penguins goaltending coach. Said he learned a lot, found a little bit to his game that he was able to work on in a really difficult year. And here he is in London having another good year at 16-5-1. And gets a start that he's dreamed about for a long time.
And that junior C team he played for was in Dresden, Ontario. As that lead pass goes to Connor Bedard, shoots, and Summer makes a save on that. And where that's located might be a big part of where he wound up. Bedard, loose in the corner with it. Plays it back to Will Cooley. Now Donovan Sabrango steps up, moved by him, but Cooley backing it up. Throws it back in front. Marco Kasper, projected to be a potential first-round pick in the upcoming NHL draft, moves that ahead. Plays for Rögle in the Swedish Hockey League, the #1 Swedish league and a top team in that league. And Kasper's having a good year there. Now Wright knocks that free for Perfetti. That pass is broken up by Christoph Thieler. And Thieler slides it back down to the Canadian zone. Austria in the top division for the 5th time as Perfetti moves in. And now Cooley steps into that shot, and that's blocked by Lucas Dollar. Now a sharp angle shot. Summer makes the save there on Cormier. Cormier falls, but spinning back is Reinbacher. Reinbacher flips that across. Oscar Meyer in, shoots, and Brochu makes the save on that. Cormier pokes at it. Loose at the side of the goal and scooped up by Gregg. And Ridley Gregg of the Brandon Wheat Kings comes in, but he gets straightened up there by Lucas Netsasani. Drop back at the point. Here's Power. Feeds back across. Sealing a shot that goes wide. Back at the point is Power again. Walks in, holds, and shoots. Summer makes the save and hangs on.
Now we just showed the skating ability of Owen Power. The poise that he plays with is when it's on his stick, he holds on the puck. He's been a little bit like, I'd say, Chris Pronger from my day. How Pronger looked like he was half asleep in most of the game because he never had a panic point. You just hold the puck, wait for the right play to develop, and then make it. And Power's got a lot of that. Dave Cameron said he thinks a little more Alex Pietrangelo, he coached Pietrangelo and feels the same thing, the escapability out of traffic for a big man.
Cameron was asked the other day what he liked best about Power's game against the Czechs. He said, well, there was the 3 goals.
It's always a good place to start.
The first defenseman to score a hat trick in a World Junior game for Canada. And here's Kent Johnson, back to Power. Into the corner for his Michigan teammate Johnson. And Kent Johnson winds across the top, drops it back to Seeley. Seeley's got a lane, moves in, centers it, and McTavish couldn't quite connect there. Penalty coming down, McTavish drops it back. Here's Johnson. Across to Power. Extra skater comes on, it's Perfetti. Johnson shoots, and Summer knocks that away. 6 skaters on 5 now for Canada. Power digs along the boards. The Austrians finally touch up, and with 4.5 gone here in the first period, Canada will get the game's first power play.
Canada had a big power play night against the
Austria, number 26, 2 minutes for hooking.
Against the Czechs, 3 power play goals. All of them clumped together in that second period when the Czechs went on a penalty binge. Seeley just misses McTavish in tight, and there's the penalty back behind the net. So here's the Canada power play, first crack.
Kent Johnson with it. Banks it down to McTavish. That pass is picked off and moved ahead by Sablat. He can't clear it out. Perfetti winds his way in. Cole Perfetti feeds across to Johnson. Kent Johnson takes the return pass from McTavish. Back to Power. Winds in and shoots. That goes wide. And Johnson has it back. Johnson. McTavish. Perfetti shoots. Summer comes across and makes the save. Summer was way out of his net. And now Johnson with it. Back to Power. Power to Perfetti. Swings it across. Johnson scores! Kent Johnson with a rocket. And a power play goal makes it 1-0 Canada.
Canada moves the puck around so well on this power play. It ends with Kent Johnson getting his first of the tournament off an excellent feed from Perfetti. Just moments before, look at this beauty from McTavish. Perfetti tries to go high into the blocker side. He actually hit Sommer up in the mask. They retrieve the puck again, and that lane opens up, and there's the ability of Perfetti to see the pass before it's there. He knows Power's coming with the puck to him. Now he's got to figure out where it goes next. Kent Johnson standing in the tee box. and he hammers it from Perfetti, and it's 1-0 Canada.
And the Canadian families celebrate that. We talked to Mel Pearson, the coach at Michigan, prior to the tournament, and Ray, he said that some of his game might remind you of Kyle Connor, the release of the Winnipeg Jets star. And of course, Connor, also a Michigan Wolverine.
Johnson's so exceptionally talented. I just wonder what he's going to be when he puts a little weight on, a little strength. But man, he can move the puck, he can handle it, and showed us again, he can certainly shoot it.
Brochu knocks that away. He's one of those guys who's worth the price of admission for the warm-up.
Yeah, he can dangle with it.
In comes Goalie. Drop pass and a quick chance for Neighbors. Rolls wide of the goal as Gunther set up. Now Gunther pokes it across to Gregg. So the 4th power play goal of the tournament already for Canada. 3, as you mentioned, that game against the Czechs, which were so critical in the comeback win. Gregg around to Gunther. Back he goes to Cormier. Cormier dances across the top, holds the line, works in. Cormier shoots, scores! Lucas Cormier, and it's 2-0 Canada.
Last year's Quebec Defenseman of the Year with 54 points in 36 games is going to show his escapability on the blue line. Terrific work by Ridley Gregg in the corner to win that puck, to keep it alive. He pushes it up the boards to Dylan Gunther, who finds Cormier. And then Cormier with an escape act along the blue line. He skates away from Bohm and then beats Sommer to the glove side. Shows off his agility along the line, his shot that beats the goaltender, and it's 2-0 Canada.
Cormier plays for Charlottetown in the Quebec Major Junior League. He's the only Atlantic Canadian on the Canadian roster, and once again this year Ray is leading all Quebec League defensemen in points. Bedard knocks that back for Sabrango. To Cooley. Will Cooley got spilled there by Netsasani. Nolan Zellweger up for Bedard. And he finds Desnoyers. In comes Desnoyers. Backhands it back in front. Cooley kicks at it and puts that wide. Bouncing puck brought ahead by Hengelmuller. He got slammed there by Cooley. And Hengelmuller makes his way off the ice. Brochu around to Sabrango. Zellweger to Bedard. He spins off a check. Being watched there by Rappold. Counts are 14-2 in favor of Canada. Austrians were outscored 29-1 last year in the tournament. Their only goal came against Russia. They were saved last year by the fact there was no relegation in the tournament. They spent 9 years in Division 1A before they finally earned promotion to the top group. There's an icing call.
And so here they are again, and they'll stay for another year with no relegation into next year's tournament. A really young team. They've got 8 defensemen that are either 17 or 18 years old. There's that little scrum in the corner where Ridley Gregg has kept the puck alive. Gunther just pushes it to Cormier, who's up towards the top of the blue line. Man, he went across the line quickly. Had all kinds of room to find the shot.
Now Lambos, a shot that goes off the leg as Carson Lambos let that go. Now Rappold feeds it back across, and the puck taken away from Finn Van Ee. Half a dozen of these players play for the Red Bull Academy in Salzburg. As that centering pass is knocked away, backhand shot, Perfetti, Sommer down, makes the save. Most of the top players and young players in Germany and Austria wind up in that academy at some point. As that shot taken by Ryan O'Rourke is blocked. O'Rourke draws into the lineup for Canada today. In comes McTavish. Mason McTavish works in, shoots, and that's knocked away by Sommer. Another dash from Mason McTavish.
Oh, good play here by Casper.
A lot of scouts here today to watch this.
You got to look for the moments from Casper. Obviously, they're going to get overloaded here.
And now Stankoven shoots, scores! Logan Stankoven in his World Junior debut, and it's 3-0 Canada.
a second-round pick this past draft by the Dallas Stars. Jim Nill, the general manager, says Stankoven has an NHL shot. The guys say he plays like a bowling ball. He's got such energy. He's always moving forward. He jumps into the lineup and he makes a nifty move at the blue line. Man, that's a good shot. Quick, right to the inside the post. And Stankoven, who's got 13 goals in 22 games in Kamloops in his first period, is on the board, and it's 3-0 Canada.
3 goals in 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Stankoven won a gold medal with Canada, one of 6 players in this team who won gold with the under-18s last spring in Texas. He scored a crucial goal in the gold medal game to make it 4-2 against Russia. In comes Sealy. Fires that back down to the Austrian zone. Well, the Austrians knew they'd be in for a tough one this afternoon, this evening, and they are. First meeting against Canada since 1981. Now Toller moves in. Toller shoots. That's knocked over the glass. Up and out of play. Johnson, Cormier, Stankoven. 3-0 Canada here in the first period.
Logan Stankoven said he was almost in shock that he made this team. He pushed his way onto the roster, and as his family celebrates in the crowd, Stankoven's on the board. Man, he took that puck and had a pretty clear idea where he wanted to head with it. One step to the middle, and a quick release that beat the goaltender.
In his 3rd year with the Kamloops Blazers, has 13 goals in 22 games. Goulet moves that back in the corner for Cormier. And Greg has it taken away by Oscar Meyer. Another part of the Red Bull Academy, which plays its games in the Alps Hockey League. Ray, I don't know if this North American hockey broadcasting gig doesn't work for us. I think the Alps Hockey League is something we should look at. Vienna, Salzburg, Kitzbühel. In Italy, it's Cortina and Asiago. Like, I don't know if the hockey's any good, but the skiing and the restaurants would be unbelievable.
Well, I think it's something to look at. Like, you know, just
a good retirement league for us.
Just expand the game, you know.
Yeah, grow the game a little.
Just get in the spirit of the thing.
Here's Gunther back for Greg, and a crease violation called. The faceoff will come outside. I think that's our first crease violation we've seen in the games in Edmonton. Your favorite rule?
Yeah, no, Jake Neighbors is trying to figure out why they blew the whistle. He's like, oh yeah, he'll figure it out. There's Stankoven again, and I think it's pretty interesting to note that the players have an awareness of what's going on around them in the context of the team. So Canada's got 2 forwards out of the lineup, Javier Bourgault and Justin Sourdif. He said, I got a short window to impress here. He's not looking at this like, hey, I'm happy to be around. He wants to play. He wants to be in the lineup. It's a good start for him with his first goal of the tournament.
Expanded rosters again this year, 25 instead of the usual 23, so there are scratches for each game. In Canada's case, it's due to suspension and injury, as you mentioned. Benoit, the sign of the goal for Bedard. And Benoit back with it, centers it. And that's knocked out and taken away by Lawrence Lindner. Will Cooling goes steamrolling through Van E. At the other point, jumping up is Sabrango. His tying goal in the first period against the Czechs was huge to make it 3-3.
If you haven't seen the interview with his mother, his mother Kim, you've got to watch it. She was just over the moon with pride and joy. They've gone through a tough time, the Sabrangos, and that was a big moment for them. She said she could see him coming in, and there's the old hockey mom. She knew. He's coming in on the backside. I hope he gets the puck, and he didn't miss. He's a beauty of a goal.
Santa Peters in the corner with it for Austria. Being outshot 16-3. Wright trying to dig that freight. That's knocked down, and Peters with a shot. And Brochu makes the save. 9:17 to go here in the first period. Canada up by 3.
Let's Let's Get Hungry, brought to you by Skip the Dishes. And Mason McTavish is hungry to get to the next level. Had a 9-game stint with Anaheim this season. I spoke with head coach Dallas Eakins this week about him. He said he was so close to staying for the year. They love his enthusiasm and work ethic. And the coaching staff had a nickname for him, guys. They called him One More, because at practice, if they were ever about to blow down a drill and McTavish was at the front of the line, he'd yell, "One more, coach, one more." He loves to ply his trade, guys.
That was always on an offensive drill, I'm assuming.
Yes, I was going to say, not the back checking work.
Yeah, no more. No, that's good, coach. We got it.
In comes Power across the line to get the electron microscope out and call that offside at the Austrian line. And McTavish didn't know he was going to play his first NHL game until the afternoon. Max Jones came up ill, so he had skated in the morning with the healthy scratches. Figured he'd be watching against Winnipeg.
Yeah, I went to the beach.
Yeah. Well,
now maybe you should upset your preparation if that's how your game turns out. You see how strong he is. Jamie Drysdale, who was a star for Canada, of course, last year, was with McTavish in Anaheim, said he's not surprised how well he's done. He said he's NHL strong already.
Got sent back to junior, had a hat trick in his first game back with the Peterborough Petes. Maybe the beach is going to overtake the pregame nap as a hockey ritual.
I'm telling you, I played in LA. There's nothing wrong with that. You're just supposed to be relaxing. You're not out there going surfing. There's nothing wrong with sitting out in the nice weather.
Lambos, now you're just rubbing it in here.
It just seemed like the thing to do.
Not doing that here this week.
Oh, no.
Gunther up for Neighbors. See Edmonton Oil Kings teammates, and now Neighbors flips that back down to the Austrian zone. Oh, big hit there by O'Rourke. And Lambo drops the puck across. Lambos up for Greg. And in comes Neighbors with it. Jake Neighbors drops that back for Greg. Back around for Neighbors. And it's scooped up by Lucas Netzasani. At the point, helped by O'Rourke. Lambos moves in and shoots. Goes off a foot, bounces right back in front. Neighbors a chance. That goes off a leg and wide. Back at the point is Lambos. O'Rourke, a long shot that goes high off the glass and out of play. So we mentioned earlier, Ray, that maybe the location of Brett Brochu's Junior C team matters. He played in Dresden, Ontario. That's right near the Hunter family farm. Dale Hunter and his dad Dick would go around to watch any game. This place was about 10 kilometers from their house. They were driving back after the game, and Dick Hunter said to Dale, "That kid's not a Junior C goaltender. He should be playing for the London Knights." And now he is.
Yeah, so listen to your dad. It's the lesson there.
Off the draw, that shot goes up and high. Dick Hunter not afraid to give his opinion.
But there is something to this, is, you know, so Brochu obviously loves the game and as a playing in Junior C, and he wants to play, but he thinks he can be better, and now you got to fight each way up the rung.
Cut by 4 Junior B teams.
There's lots of stories of players that have been totally overlooked or disregarded and thought that they had reached their ceiling, and then all of a sudden they don't.
Out comes Bedard. Oh, what a move by Bedard. In shoots, and Sommer makes a good glove save on Connor Bedard.
What a piece of dancing magic from Connor Bedard. I gotta tell you, Leon Sommer has made about 6 great saves already. He's given up 3, but man, he's been terrific. Look at this move. Whoop, right through his own feet as he beats the youngster Reinbacher right in tight. He doesn't quite get it up high enough, but a nice stop on a nifty piece of puck work by Connor Bedard.
Hopefully Leon Sommer gets a picture of that save, and 10 years from now and beyond could say, didn't beat me, he's not that tough.
Well, there's lots of guys that have a picture of Wayne Gretzky in the face-off circle. Well, that becomes a keepsake.
Penalty coming to Austria. Sablating will go off. And they finally touch up, and with 6:39 to go, Canada's going back on the power play.
It didn't take them very long the first time as they scored quickly on the power play. Kent Johnson with the marker off the Cole Perfetti pass.
12, minor hooking.
Tobias Sablating gets called here as Canada's defense up in the play again. This time it's Sabrango. We saw Seeley walked the blue line, Cormier walked the blue line to score, and there's the Bedard movement. Just how effortlessly he pulled it back between his own feet to create the space.
Here's Power on the power play for Perfetti. In, shoots, that goes off the skate of Thielen. And Power. Back down to McTavish, walks in, pulls it back across, the puck still loose. Perfetti with a chance, and Sommer makes the save on that. Perfetti swings it back to McTavish, to Perfetti. Centers it, they jam away at it. Bourque couldn't get much on it, and Sommer makes the stop.
Cole Perfetti had 3 cracks at this in the first 30 seconds of the power play, and he attacked 3 different ways. He tried to shoot one, he tried the high tip pass to Maverick Bourque, and then he went down to the goal line to McTavish. That's the vision that you're supposed to have if you're working on the half wall, and Perfetti displays it in the last 30 seconds.
There's Power back at the point, across to Perfetti. Bourque playing pitch and catch with Perfetti, now Power with it. Looks down to Perfetti. Kent Johnson sneaking in on the other side. Power looks across to him. Johnson. The goal mouth to McTavish, swings back. Mason McTavish works in, holds, speeds down to Johnson that skipped away from him. Back around to McTavish. Here's Power with it. Works it and shoots off the goalpost. That deflected and hit the pipe.
And Maverick Bourque with the deflection about ankle high or so off the Power wrister.
Chopped that, the puck high in the air. Kasper with it. Austria got one, and it's lost to Finland. A power play goal, but now short-handed as Canada moves it in. In comes Bedard again. Connor Bedard. Criss-crossing there with Cormier. He slides it back to Zellweger. Olin Zellweger to Shane Wright. Wright to the goal mouth. A centering pass from Neighbors. Bedard, a second chance, scores. Connor Bedard, power play goal. 4-0.
It's the first game a goal. This game the power play works again. Bedard ends up in the middle of the ice, and Wright and Neighbors play this perfectly. Wright to Neighbors down to the goal line, and Neighbors nice hands here as he doesn't waste too much time getting it to Bedard. Not much on that first shot by Bedard, but it comes right back to him off the pad of Sommer, and he sticks it in the top of the net. Canada's 2 for 2 on the power play, and every coach lately talks in this tournament about the need for a good power play. That's 5 power play goals in 2 games for Canada.
Bedard played 2 minutes and 43 seconds in the first period against the Czechs, and then played nearly 10 minutes in the last 2 as he worked his way up the lineup. The youngest player in the tournament, born July 17th, 2005. That long shot knocked down. Toller swings back with it. Toller shoots, and Brochu makes the stop on that. Now a centering pass. Toller and Brochu the save again, and Neighbors picks up the rebound. Jake Neighbors works in along with Greg. Neighbors holds and shoots. That goes wide. Now Gunther a sharp angle shot, and Sommer knocks that down. Thielen moves it back across. Luka Auer flips that back to the Canadian zone. You mentioned, Ray, 15 of these Austrians can return next year. A very young team.
And so often when a team qualifies, it's with an older team. The younger team gets relegated.
Here they come again. Bedard with Cooley. Bedard shovels it towards the goal. Rebound, score! And that's Bedard again to make it 5-0.
That's a pretty nifty play here. Some anticipation by Bedard to steal the puck in the neutral zone, and a nice play by Will Cooley to return the pass. The pass is intercepted by Bedard, and he'll protect the puck. Cooley goes right back to him, and again, there's not much to this part of the play, except it's everything. Bedard doesn't skate by the net. If if he goes past the net, this play can't happen. He waits for the puck. He's right on the goal line. He's got enough time to put it in the net. Nice feed from Cooley. But the goal scorer doesn't go past where the goal can happen. It's a nice play by Bedard.
So you live not far from where Bedard grew up. When did you first hear about him?
A couple of years ago. I think he was 12, which is, you know, kind of ridiculous, I guess. A friend of mine works skill stuff with him, and Bedard's out with him, and said, "You got to come see this kid." I said, "How old is he?" He's like 12. I'm like, "Yeah, I got a tea time." And went and watched, and yeah, Connor Bedard's got it.
The family got their first call from an agent when he was 10.
Canada goal scored by number 16, Connor Bedard. Assisted by number 19, Eja Dinwiddie. And by number 27.
There's Lambos with it. Lambo shoots, deflected just wide, the net comes off as Bourque ran into that. Connor Bedard of the Regina Pats from North Vancouver, BC, as a couple, and Canada's got a 5-0 lead here in the first. Raptors basketball rolls in Sunday from Scotiabank Arena as the Raps take on Canadian RJ Barrett, and the Knicks coverage gets underway at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on TSN. The Matart Conservatory in South Edmonton, looking towards downtown. Five 5-0 Canada leads with 3 to go here. Ray, people would say, you know, and we heard this last year, I mean, why is Austria here? You know, make the field smaller, but that's how you grow the game.
Yep. You have to, and there are great players that come from these smaller countries that wouldn't be exposed to this.
Stankoven moves it ahead to Kent Johnson. That's poked away. Marco Rossi was a terrific Austrian player, first-round pick of the Minnesota Wild, having a really good year as a 20-year-old in the American League for Iowa. He's got a point a game in that league. Last year contracted COVID and actually developed some heart issues as a result of it.
Fortunately, he's okay and able to continue at the level of play that the Wild drafted him at.
Thomas Vanek, you'd have to say the top Austrian born and trained player.
What I would say is that these smaller countries, the only thing that matters is improving skill.
Right.
Don't worry about the tactics. Don't worry about how do we check and penalty kill. You can teach that later on. Just the entire development model has to be skill, skating, passing, agility, improve athleticism. That's how the game becomes better, and you start getting more players that can compete in games as the games get faster.
And despite the one-sided scores, the thrill of playing for your country, the honor of that, as Gunther plays it back across to Craig with a shot. Sommer makes the save. The best line we heard in a long time when Great Britain was in the World Championship a couple years ago against the United States, one of the British players said, "I won my fantasy league because of Patrick Kane. I just played against him this afternoon."
Yeah, that tournament's got some interesting characters in it.
He also mentioned that he hoped they didn't make the medal run because he had a roofing job. Yeah, they get to on Friday.
Priorities. But that was such a cool thing for those guys to play in the tournament. It was really neat to see how fired up they were.
And they avoided relegation on the final day. There's lots of different tournaments that go on here.
Oh, what a pass from Power.
To Denoyer. Where it's in, shovels that towards the goal. The pass just missed Bedard. Now Power. Swings it back. Cooley, a hard shot, goes off a leg and wide as Harold got in the way of that. Denoyer. Back at the point to Cooley. Elliot Denoyer shoots, and Sommer makes the glove save and hangs on.
One of the great capabilities of any defenseman, certainly a star, is to find the open man and deliver the puck at the right time. Look at that pass through the Austrian neutral zone set. This thing is on the tape, and Denoyer does not have to slow down. It's one thing to make the pass, it's another to put it in a position that your forward can accept it and then attack in the same moment.
Here's Cormier jumping in around Van E. Cormier spins back. Maybe Chris Pronger didn't get credit for being the passer that he was.
Oh, what a player he was. He'd come out behind the net and he'd just stand there and wait for something to develop, and then that puck was just zipped up the ice. Of course, being 6'6" didn't hurt either when you went to try and get around him.
And Mean is a hungry dog, yeah. And now Gooley into it for a moment.
That's a fantastic period for Canada. They've got 25 shots and 5 goals, and there is, of course, the thought that you come out and take a nap against a team that you know that you're better than. I thought they've moved the puck. They haven't devolved into the one-man game, which often happens in a game like this. It's a good 20 minutes for them.
Finns had a hard time cracking an open against the Austrians yesterday.
Yeah, it took them a while to find the level that Canada's playing at here, but they found it and scored 7 while they were at it. Canada's throwing 5 up on the board here.
And Gooley back in it with Kasper.
Kasper's showing a little bit of feistiness in the 2 games in this tournament. Here he goes after the much bigger Gooley.
So Bedard's got a couple, Canada's got 5. It's a 5-0 lead after the opening 20 minutes. You're watching the 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton and Red Deer on TSN. Our first intermission with James Duthie, Bob McKenzie, and Jeff O'Neill is coming up.
Jerome McGinley supports the Hockey Canada Foundation Assist Fund because he knows that when we help kids get on the ice, there's no limit to the power of play. Give an assist. Donate now.
The first intermission is brought to you by Verbo. Download the Verbo app and get your team together today.
Your first intermission on TSN. James Duthie alongside 1995 gold medalist Jeff O'Neill and Bob McKenzie. We're not going to do too much detailed analysis of a lopsided 5-0 game, but I think for a lot of Canadians, is this their first glimpse of why Connor Bedard is likely or perhaps to go #1 in 2023?
Yeah, obviously sublime skill, and on that #1 in 2023, Matvei Michkov has been ripping it up for the Russians here too. Adam Fantilli's a good player, but nevertheless, those are the names in conversation. This one he doesn't score, and it might have been the prettiest play of the period. Toe drags around, great save by Sommer, and then onto the power play, second power play unit for Bedard. He gets it there, right into the back of the net, makes that look easy. And this is a terrific, what I thought was going to be an assist, but he gets it back. So just a great play there to tap in, the empty net tap in, but just creating the space and the time and space, getting it over to Cooley and getting it back again, absolutely sublime.
I think he's got to be a mainstay on this hockey team. He's so good. Every time he's on the ice, he makes something happen, James. He's got to gain the coach's trust, though. This game right here, he can't turn the puck over. He had a couple turnovers in the last game, but it's a little bit like Cale Makar in Buffalo a couple years ago. Every time he stepped on the ice, he scored a goal. But then in tense situations, the coach were like, I don't know if I trust this guy or not. So he's got to kind of find a way to trust the coaches or get the coaches to trust him. But every time he's on the ice, he almost scores a goal.
Logan Stankoven said he was shocked to be invited to Team Canada's camp, let alone make the team. Didn't dress in his first game, making the most of his opportunity here.
Yeah, and he gets put on the right wing on what is arguably the #1 offensive line with Mason McTavish and Ken Johnson. And it doesn't take very long for this little ball of energy that's got a tree. The Dallas prospect just has an absolutely tremendous shot. His feet move, his hands move, and he's got a terrific shot. And he just goes through a neutral zone and into the offensive zone. No chance. Now, interesting, and Ray talked about this a little bit. A guy like Stankoven was the 14th forward. He comes into the lineup, immediately scores a goal. There's probably guys in this team that haven't scored. They're going, whoa, wait a second. The 14th forward has a goal. I don't have one. And Dave Cameron's biggest fear is that in a game like this, they look at the score, it's 5-0. Stankoven's got a goal. Bedard's got a couple. He's a 16-year-old. I got to get my cookies. I'm going to be a cookie monster.
Oh, well, we have the ultimate cookie monster right here. And I was going to say that.
You were there. It's cookie monster time.
You were there back in '95. Is this the kind of game where you're saying, hey, I want mine?
This is exactly the game. We were crushing Ukraine, and myself, Darcy Tucker, and Ryan Smith were the fourth line. Pretty good fourth line, James. We were like, Donnie, hey, this is our our time, not Canada's time. Watch this beautiful assist, James, by me. Bobby probably broke this one down in Red Deer, but we weren't playing the whole tournament. We were cheering on the guys. And in this game, Donnie Hay was Tuck's coach, so I think he gave him a look saying, it's our time to get out there. We got to play a little bit more.
What I don't understand is that's Eric Daze out on the ice. And I think he had like 7 goals in that tournament or something.
That was probably me overextending my shift and being out there with guys I shouldn't have been. But it was my time.
Did you really
Canada's
turn
time.
to Don Hay and said, Don, it's O-Dog time?
That's exactly right. It was our time, not Canada's time. It was our fourth line.
You know what
time.
we called you back then? The goods.
The goods. The goods went out there and got it done against Ukraine.
The goods got it done. All Canada through one period of play. It's a 5-0 score. You saw Bubs talking about Stankoven's goal. One Kamloops Blazer will talk to another as former Blazer Ryan Rishaug speaks with him next.
Character, integrity, respect. If we bring good sportsmanship on and off the ice, we can help end bullying.
Brett Brochu of the London Knights. This is the basketball hands drill. So the basketball was in the hands in front of me. You drop it and then react to a puck, either glove or blocker hand side. So you're focused on 2 things at once and then have to react quickly to get the ball after the bounce. Good hand-eye is extremely important for goaltending, and it's good for reaction time.
The college football playoff semifinals come your way New Year's Eve. Number 4 Cincinnati takes on number 1 ranked Alabama, followed by a clash between number 3 Georgia and number 2 Michigan. Coverage begins 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific on TSN and rolls all night long. Now it's the former Blazer Ryan Rishaug with current Blazer Logan Stankoven.
Well, Logan, you said that you didn't even expect to be invited to camp, let alone making this team. So I wonder how it felt today to score your first goal as a member of the World Junior team.
Yeah, it was an amazing feeling. I honestly didn't even know if it went in the net. I just know Macker made a great play through the neutral zone there. I was coming with lots of speed, and I made one move, and I thought I should put the puck on net, and next thing you know, I kind of blinked and it was in the back of the net. So it's pretty cool feeling. You know, I watched the World Juniors as a kid growing up, and you know, it felt pretty nice to get that first goal.
And of course, lots of family in the stands high-fiving and cheering you on. Must be nice to know that they're watching here today. Mason McTavish calls you a little bowling ball. How do you take that? Is that that sounds like a compliment?
Yeah, no, I think that's a pretty good way to describe my gameplay. You know, I'm not the biggest guy out there, but I'm not afraid to go into the corners and I guess get dirty and you know, go to the net and score goals. So I'll take them any way they come. But yeah, it's a pretty good description of, you know, how I like to play the game.
Great, thanks for your time, Logan.
Yeah, thank you.
5 for Canada in the first, including Lucas Cormier getting on the board. 6th goal by a Canadian defenseman already. That equals the total from all of last year's tournament.
The first intermission was brought to you by Verbo. Download the Verbo app and get your team together today.
Sportlogic continues to monitor the quality shots taken, and as you can see, a bundle for Canada, 18-1 there, and all of the goals coming inside that home plate area. Your first period scoring summary is brought to you by Verbo. A lot of Canadian flags up there. 14 different Canadian players registering points in that first period of play. Bedard with the 2 goals, his first 2 of the tournament. Gord Miller and Ray Ferraro have your second.
Thank you, James. And Connor Bedard outshoots Austria 7-6. He had 7 shots in that opening period as the Canadians moved the puck around pretty well.
Yeah, they moved around 7 shots. I mean, that's a week and a half of work right there. Bedard with the 2 goals. What I want to look at, though, is how unselfishly Canada played in a game where you know you're going to get a lot of goals. Pretty quickly, sometimes it can devolve into one-on-one hockey. And Canada didn't play like that at all. I was really impressed with their ability to move the puck, find the open guy, look for the open ice. and try to attack off that. And there were times when perhaps they could have even been a little more selfish to shoot the puck. But they created chance after chance with puck movement. Now, this doesn't hurt either, as Bedard goes between his own legs. But the crispness of their game in the first period was something they should be very happy about. Now, you got to try and do it for the next 2 periods when this game is likely going to stretch out.
We've talked before about, a team like Austria in a tournament like this. If you want an equivalent, look back 15 years ago at Canadian men's soccer. Ranked outside the top 75 in the world, routinely losing one-sided international games. There's a young man from here in Edmonton who's a big part of how that's changed, Alphonso Davies.
We were very lucky in Vancouver to watch Alphonso Davies for a couple of years. His last game, we were like, nah, he's not going to be here any longer. That's about the end of him. And off he went to Bayern Munich.
Perfetti swings it across, right with a chance, and it's knocked away by Sommer. Shane Wright picked up his first point at the World Junior in that first period. Maverick Bourque for Wright. That's knocked away. And Sablaty moves it ahead for Austria. Of course, if this game was played on downhill skis, it might be a bit of a different story. The
Austrians be a different sport then, Gordon.
The Austrians are quite good at that.
It'd be complicated too.
It would be. Someone will come up with that one day. Marco Kasper comes up.
Okay, I'm going to bring up something. It might be a little early in the game for this, but do you remember Super Slider snow skates?
Yes.
You used to strap them on your feet. They were a concussion waiting to happen.
They would be out. That lawn darts would be outlawed.
Oh man! But you'd put them on, and they were awesome until you lost your balance, and then you were on skates on the road.
Which is a minor holding. Caller with the holding call. I forgot about those.
There's the holding call as Toller gets called. Here's off the opening faceoff. Really nice play between the legs. Pass from Bourque as he slides it out to Shane Wright, who clips the side of the mask of Leon Sommer, who actually made a lot of good saves in that first period.
So Canada back to the power play, but the Austrians win the draw. Wallner plays out ahead to Van Ee with a shorthanded chance, but Kent Johnson came back to defend on that. Johnson pivots away. His brother Kyle plays at Yale. We should mention that Kent Johnson, a former trail smoke eater in the BC Junior League.
Yes, 1 year. 1 year off to Michigan, and now the 5th overall pick by the Columbus Blue Jackets.
He's the BC Junior League Player of the Year in his 1 year there. Power swings that back to Johnson. Johnson for Perfetti, walks in and shoots. Sommer the save, and he hangs on.
And Perfetti's attacked about 4 different ways off that left side circle on the power play. He's gone down on the goal line to McTavish. He's tried the shot pass. He's tried the shot from the wing. And this time he drags it into a better spot to deliver a pretty good shot.
He and Owen Power have a chance to join Patrice Bergeron as winners of the World Junior Championship after winning the Senior Men's World Championship. They were both part of Team Canada in Latvia last May. That puck took a crazy bounce off the stanchion. Zellweger back to pick it up. Olen Zellweger. And the Everett Silver tips for Bedard, streaking in. Connor Bedard throws it back in front. A chance for Neighbors. Sommer makes the save on that.
You saw a little bit of Owen Zellweger's feet as he loses the forechecker in the defensive zone, and now he's got some free ice as he's created some room for Connor Bedard, who runs it out wide. And as Zellweger drives the middle of the ice, that leaves a passing lane for Bedard. Head up, shoulder check twice, and slides it right through that lane to Neighbors, who's 15 feet out, but Sommer with the save.
Bedard poked that back, picked off by Senna Peters, who plays for Halifax in the Quebec League. Gets tangled up. Peters scored Austria's only goal last year in the tournament. Got 8 goals in 26 games this year for Halifax. Here's Wright with it. Drops it back to Zellweger. Zellweger across to Cormier, threads that pass back across to right. Neighbors parked in front, right to Neighbors, centers it. Bedard, a quick shot, Sommer the save. And the rebound put high by Cormier.
Well, the shots are going to pile up, the chances are going to pile up, and Sommer's going to be a busy goaltender by the end of the day here as he makes a pad stop. Another shot from the slot for Bedard. He had 5 of those in the first period of his 7.
Vanny flips that down. Back is Sebrango to pick it up. Around to Ronan Seeley from Olds, Alberta. There's 7 Alberta natives on this Canadian roster that's got 12 Western League players. Seeley drops it back. Sebrango shoots. He fired that wide. Now Seeley centers it. Cooley drops it back to Gregg. Chips it back to Seeley. Seeley along wrist shot. Save made by Sommer. And Vanny back with it. Up ahead to Marco Kasper. He'll flip it back down to the Canadian zone. Canada had 3 shots in that last power play.
Oh, what a
pass. Pass for Gregg. In the breakaway shoots. He whistled that just wide.
That was Sebrango with that pass, about 110 feet right on the tape.
Well, Gunther tries to center it. And there's O'Rourke back with it. O'Rourke from Bowmanville, Ontario, plays for Sault Ste. Marie in the Ontario League. Takes that return pass from Goulet. Stankoven threads that ahead for McTavish. Johnson to the forecheck. McTavish, little backhand shot. Sommer makes the save. Back to the point. O'Rourke with a shot that goes wide. Goulet back in the corner with it. And the captain finds Johnson. Tied up by Harrell. On the side of the goal. Big chance for McTavish. Goes off his skate and bounces high off the glass. Stankoven back on it. Tied up behind the goal. Harrell lost the puck to McTavish. Johnson goes back to Goulet to Johnson. Crisscrossing with O'Rourke. Kent Johnson winds in. Shoots. Sommer the save. Rebound. McTavish fires. Hit the goal post. No chance the other way for Meyer. Oscar Meyer in on power one-on-one. Shoots. And Brochu makes the stop on that.
Plenty of zone time for Canada, and finally McTavish gets a chance. This is dead off the pipe. Here's that Sebrango pass. Look at this thing. Right on the tape. Ridley Gregg's got room up on the blocker side and misses it. Sebrango's got his head up as he comes around the back of the net. Gregg's moved into the middle of the ice, and that puck is perfect on the tape in stride for Gregg to pop into the open ice.
Lambos across the power, that's picked up by Vanny, who flips that wide. And the shot taken there by Rampold, and the save by Brochu. Power to right, turns it over, and Vanny another long shot. Brochu the save on that. And there's Lambos with it. Lambos, the Winnipeg native, up ahead to Perfetti, the Jets draft pick. Perfetti spins that rink wide for Zellweger. Shoots. That was almost chipped in by an Austrian defender as Lindner put a stick on that and knocked it just wide. Now sent down by Cheering. That'll miss the Canadian goal, and icing called against Austria.
Hey Canada, as you sit back and enjoy the game, remember, Bet99.net is the smartest way to play like a pro. Every game starts at Bet99.net.
Well, Dave Cameron knows there's going to be tough games, and then there's going to be games that aren't so tough in a tournament like this, and you just have to keep the machine rolling as best as you can. Before you know it, you're a couple of games through this tournament.
Now Bedard in, shoots, scores! Connor Bedard, hat trick for Canada.
They said Bedard had to get a little better without the puck. Well, this is one way to solve without the puck, is to have it. And once he gets it, he starts to dangle with it here. He comes off the wing and picks it up, and this is all him. One move, and then he's got all kinds of traffic in front of the net. That shot has been talked about. He watches Austin Matthews on video. He's always working on it. It's the release, it's the change of direction, and as soon as he gets it here, good luck. Well, the defender, Lindner, screening his own goaltender. He's back so deep. Bedard's head is up. Watch how he quickly picks his head up again, and this is perfect. Under the bar, and it's 6-0 Canada.
So 3 straight goals for Connor Bedard. And we're not yet halfway through the second period. And there is the Bedard family bedecked in Team Canada and Regina Pat's gear. The Canadian record for goals in a game is 4. Shared by a number of players over the years. Max Comtois, the most recent to do it. Zellweger up for Bedard. Loose behind the goal. Desnoyers trying to pick it free. Bedard still there. Cooley trying to work it loose. Desnoyers. For Cooley. Will Cooley drops that back to Sabrango. Now Bedard reaching for it. It's scooped up by Martin Urbanek, who scored Austria's only goal in that game against Finland. Little backhand shot taken there by Peters, and the stop made by Brochu.
Scored by number 16, Connor Bedard. Assisted by number 19, Daniel Henry. Time of the goal, 13:47.
Sabrango. Feeds that into Neighbors, who chips it down to the Austrian zone. Now a centering pass, and Neighbors with a shot. He rattled that high off the glass. O'Rourke back with it. Goes back in the corner for Greg. Gunther knocks that ahead. Boom. A centering pass knocked away by O'Rourke as Toller was moving in. And Ballmer drops it back. Bohm chips it down. And Brochu plays it back around to O'Rourke. O'Rourke snapped that pass ahead for Neighbors. One of 4 Edmonton Oil Kings playing for Canada in this tournament. Cross ice pass for Meyer. Chips it down to the Canadian zone. If you're just joining us, Team USA forced to forfeit its game against Switzerland today in Red Deer over a couple of positive COVID tests, and their game against Sweden very much in question. Bob McKenzie's following that story very closely. Lead pass to Stankovic. Logan Stankovic. Shields off the defender, finds Johnson. A centering pass from McTavish goes off his stick. Over and out. Connor Bedard is putting on a show here in Edmonton tonight. Performance brought to you by Vapocool Max Drops.
Well, Connor Bedard's got 3 goals today. His first 3 of the World Junior Championship. Going to be a lot more before his junior career is finished. The third one's a beauty as he walks in tight and puts it up in the top of the net. 3 goals for 16-year-old Connor Bedard.
Here's Perfetti off the draw. Perfetti spins back in the corner to Shane Wright. In, shoots off the side of the goal. First 16-year-old to play for Canada was Wayne Gretzky in the '78 tournament. He was a last-minute addition to the team when Bobby Smith got hurt and did okay. Steve Tambellini was his roommate that year. When Gretzky walked in, he said, "This is the guy killing the OHL?" Shane Wright shoots, and Sommer makes the save.
Oh, it's funny, and then a little connection is we talked about Kent Johnson, who, by the way, played 2 years in Trail, not 1. His coach was Adam Tambellini, Steve's dad. There's a look at Connor Bedard and those that have scored 4 for Canada. That's a pretty good list. 9 shots so far.
You love to shoot the puck.
Oh, I couldn't shoot the puck. No, I didn't shoot it very much. One year, actually it was a year I was quite proud of. I had, I think, 89 shots, and I scored 27 goals. I mean, they must have all been 4-footers, but I won the shooting percentage thing in the NHL that year, and Brett Hull was second with like 75 goals on 390 shots. I mean, like, he had as many shots as I had in a week. Connor Bedard's got a special shot, a special release. And I think we've seen a little bit with Matvei Michkov, the terrific Russian player, same draft class as Bedard. The delivery of the puck, the vary of the direction off the blade, the quickness of it. It's just special what those kids can do.
Our ace statistician Ryan Moyer has already looked up your single game high for shots.
Couldn't have been more than 5. 8. Oh, the other team must have been terrible that night. or there was a couple of rebounds in there, I can tell you. That I shot and then I just happened to be standing there. 8? Wow. Should have done that more often. Probably would have scored more goals.
Now you figure that out.
Yeah. And they say wisdom comes to those that are patient.
Neighbors with it, along with Gunther. Dylan Gunther plays it back in the corner. Now Gunther swings that back, and Reinbacher moves it back down to the Canadian zone as Sebrango goes back. Donovan Sebrango pokes at that. Up on the board to Gray. That centering pass is knocked away, and here's Gunther with it. Now moving in is Zellweger with a shot. Seeley go off the crossbar. And now Seeley swings back for Canada as the Canadians make a change, and Zellweger chips it in. Reinbacher lost it. Centered by Johnson and picked up now by Stankovic to McTavish. McTavish goes rink wide to Power. Oh, and Power shoots. He whistled up wide. McTavish holds the line, puts it back. Johnson off balance, gets a shot away, and the save is made by Sommer. He's arrived with a splash. Connor Bedard making waves as a 16-year-old at the 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship. .10 to go here in the second period. Canada a 6-0 lead on Austria on day 3 of the World Juniors. Desani lost the puck there to right. And Perfetti picks out the loose puck. Cole Perfetti holds the puck, spins and shoots. That rolls through the crease. Picked up now by Meyer. Oscar Meyer trying to flip that over Owen Power. That's hard to do, and Power gloves it down and plays it ahead. Right. Holds and plays it back in deep for Bourque. Maverick Bourque. Back he goes to Seeley. Ronan Seeley holds and shoots, and Sommer makes the save and hangs on to that.
Perfetti's got 5 assists in the last couple of games. Here we see a little bit of his agility, his puck sense as he goes behind the net to find a loose puck. Now he's back on defense to cover up, but all started with his ability to get to the loose puck and then to make a play out of not much.
Now Bedard trying to dig that free. And does. Puck back to center ice. Across to Cormier. Chipped ahead by Cooley for Cooley. Desnoyers. Gonna dig that free, but it's moved out by Lawrence Lindner. Plays for Klagenfurt in the Ice Hockey League. There's the Alps League. And the top league is the Ice Hockey League. That's where the Vienna Capitals and other teams played. Dave Cameron was there for 3 years. We saw Cameron a few times at the World Championship. He was very happy coaching in Europe. Loved it there. He and his wife were very happy in Vienna.
A lot worse places to ply your trade.
Help us make the game we love more inclusive. Submit your game-changing good deeds today at ChevroletGoodDeedsCup.ca.
Yeah, it's not quite Binghamton, is it?
Spent a long time in 3 months there in Binghamton 1 year. My pro career started there.
Off the draw, flipped wide by Kasper. You made the point about Marco Kasper that it's tough to evaluate him, obviously, because he's not playing with a lot of high-end players. So.
No, so you've got to look for moments that might tell you, is he competitive enough? Does he see the game? Is he in the right place? Does he make the play? Whether it comes back like a give and go, that whether it comes back or not, it's almost irrelevant if you're scouting him. You want to see whether he's making the right play the first time.
We saw it at the 05 World Championship in Vienna as Gunther comes in. And there's a penalty coming to Sablating. And Sablating and Gregor getting with it. But that was the year Andrej Kopitar played for Slovenia. And I mean, he played in Sweden, but there was no way to know what you were getting. And the LA Kings took a chance on him in the first round and got a great player.
Here's this penalty. It'll be the second penalty for Sablating as he hits Gunther from behind.
2 minutes for boarding.
So Canada back to the power play. I'm looking at Kent Johnson out there. I've screwed one thing up. I'm going to fix the other thing I screwed. He didn't play for Adam Tambellini. Adam plays in Sweden right now. That's Steve's youngest son. Played for Jeff Tambellini,
who is Steve's other son.
Who is Steve's older son.
Older son.
So I got this pretty well sorted out now.
You know, we got like what, 8 more days to figure this out.
We got plenty of time tonight too. Here goes Johnson.
You're going to knock this down before you're done. Power leaves it back for McTavish. McTavish goes rink wide to Johnson. Bounce back to Perfetti. Kevin Cheveldayoff, the Jets general manager, talked about Perfetti's maturity this year. Playing in the American League now, a junior age player this year can play in the American League if they did last year. That's a change to that rule because of the circumstances.
I think 35 games or so they had to play last year.
Yeah. So normally the choices for a junior age player drafted on the CHL are the CHL or the NHL. That's it. Johnson spins it back to McTavish. Centers it. Bourque with a chance. Sommer to save. Rebound. And Johnson jams at that, but Leon Sommer makes another save.
We talked a little bit about Cole Perfetti and how dangerous he is on the power play. So he comes off the left wall. He gets a shot. Here's a rebound. He's in tight. Now he's going for the high tip where Mavrik Bourque has moved in closer. A toe drag that he pulls in for his own shot. And he also set up the Kent Johnson one-timer for the power play goal as well.
58 seconds to go in the power play. Neighbors taps the draw back to Zellweger. In comes Cormier's shot. Sommer makes another save.
Cormier scored a nice goal in the first period. He danced along the blue line, lost the checker who now is chasing him. And then he was able to beat Sommer on the glove side. Third round pick of Vegas.
In comes Wright. Drops that back to Zellweger and shoots at the flex wide. Skips off the end boards. Bedard reaching for it. And moved down the ice by Linder. And now Canada ices the puck with 30 seconds to go on the power play.
Well, Bedard left the coaches and Hockey Canada's staff with no choice. Those are their words, as he played against the youth sports team when they were evaluating the players at camp. You know, he had to play his way onto it, being just 16 years old. He scored a couple of goals, and said there was really no decision to be made after that.
Bedard. Gains center ice, moves across the line. Crisscrossing with Cormier here with a sprawl to stay onside. Right for Neighbors. Cormier. For Bedard, back at the point to Zellweger. Cormier to right, moves in. Shane Wright centers and tipped wide by Neighbors. Dollar back on it. Sablatic steps out of the penalty box, takes that lead pass, comes in, and Zellweger gets to him and doesn't get a shot away. The lead pass the other way for Gunther, and that was knocked away by Reinbacher, who plays for Claughton in the Swiss League. That's a top men's league in Europe, and he's a regular there. Gunther bumps it back down to the Austrian zone. 4.5 to go here in the second period. Gunther swings that back to Seeley. Gunther now drops it off to Gooley. Caden Gooley shoots. He rattled that high and wide. Gunther reaching for it, chopped away from him by Reinbacher. Seeley back across to Gooley, shoots, and again it deflects wide. Gunther to Seeley. To Gregg. Ridley Gregg winds in on Meyer. That pass missed Gunther. And Luca Auer has it back. Mentioned Auer plays at that Red Bull Academy as Canada breaks in. Gunther drops it back. Gregg for Stankoven in, shoots at the crossbar, and the puck goes up and out of play.
Stankoven scored in that first period with a beautiful shot. This time he comes in tight and rings it right off the crossbar. 6-0 Canada.
Smart.
Your team on social using hashtag #CheerForGood, and tell us we'll donate to support grassroots hockey across Canada. So 50% capacity here for the games in Edmonton and Red Deer. And Dominique Cormier, you see wearing the number 6 jersey, is the sister of Canada's Lucas Cormier. Goalie sends it across to Power. Dominique's a freshman at Princeton and was slated to play in the women's under-18 in January, which was one of the 6 IHF tournaments canceled. And you had a chance today to talk with IHF President Luc Tardif on your podcast with Darren Dreger.
Is really informative. He laid out a lot of the IIHF decisions, and one of the things he did mention is they're managing 42 tournaments. This tournament is not canceled. The window for the U18 women's tournament is in June because they have 20 tournaments to produce between now and then, the last being the Men's World Championships that are on the calendar. So one of the things he mentioned was canceled means now they have to work with the country and the federation to do it. It's not, if it's postponed, it's just on the IIHF shoulders. This is how they work through it. So, for example, the United States said they can hold it. Well, then they got to come up with a proposal to get it done.
Right.
And so that's what Mr. Tardif mentioned today. And if you're interested in it, I suggest you listen. It's very informative.
Pretty forthright, right?
Oh, very much so. Very much so. Very different than Mr. Fussell, who was very, I don't know, he's very careful.
Yeah, he spoke bureaucrat.
Yes.
Bureaucratese. As Brochu knocks that away. I'm not sure that's a word, but
it is now.
O'Rourke knocked down Toller. And Bork up ahead to Perfetti. Luc Tardif, the new president of the IHF, elected in September at their annual Congress. In comes Wright, walks in, sends it back across, and that pass skipped away from Cormier. A chance now for the Austrians is breaking in as Peril. Shoots, a little backhand shot, Brochu the save, and the rebound knocked away by Perfetti.
Good stop for Brochu. Not easy standing there, and then he gets a couple of good tests.
Tana's trying to work that free. Here's Cormier back on it. This thing had 15-0 written all over it at one point. And I've got a 15-0 game.
That'll be a tough one. 5 in the first here, just 1 in the second for Canada. Connor Bedard's 3rd of the night.
It was against France at the 02 tournament. The French qualified the year before with a 19-year-old goalie who was tremendous. He aged out. The next guy was not as good. Mike Camilleri with a Christmas Day hat trick. Or, sorry, Christmas Day 4-goal game. Connor Bedard with 3 straight goals this game, but that is not a natural hat trick in your books.
Not by definition. The natural hat trick's 3 goals in the same period.
In a row.
It's been expanded into 3 goals in a row at any point, it seems. Just being a stickler, an old guy yelling at clouds.
When you're at your best.
Oh yeah, why not?
Greg trying to dig it free. We approach the final minute of the second period. Gunther across to Seelig. Ronan Seelig back to Gunther, shoots. That goes off a skate and wide. Now Seelig works that back for Gunther. Gunther shoots, and Sommer makes the save on that. 44th shot of the game for Canada.
Brett Brochu has not had a lot to do, but here's a nice pad stop, and there's a rebound. He's got to stay in position, not overslide the rebound, and he's in good shape to make that stop as well. Ooh, pretty solid hit as Taller runs over Carson Lambos.
He's also playing for that Red Bull Academy. More than 500 athletes at that academy. It's for soccer and hockey. Now a lead pass, knocked in for Rauer, and Brochu out to play. It got knocked off stride. Rauer looks back across, score! Lucas Netsasani fires it home as Brochu gets caught out of his goal, and Austria has surpassed its goal total from last year's tournament.
Well, after a nice stop, a decision that doesn't work out so well for Brochu as he tries to play this loose puck, doesn't get enough of it. Now he's 25 feet out of the net. Can't scramble back in. He ends up running into Owen Power, I believe here. Oh no, it's Caden Gooley. As he's scrambling back in, they trip over each other, and Netsasani has put Austria on the board.
So 30 seconds to go here. It's a 6-1 game. And Netsasani has a memory.
Team Austria goal scored by number 10.
Now Taller works in, drops that back. It's picked off. Brought ahead by Cooley for Bedard. Back for Will Cooley. That's stripped away by Urbana. Matthias Baum works in. Gathered back up by Sabrango. Moved in by Cooley as time expires. Lucas Netsasani has one for Austria. Connor Bedard's got 3 for Canada. It's a 6-1 lead after 40 minutes. You're watching the 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton and Red Deer, live on TSN. Our second intermission with James Duthie, Bob McKenzie, and Jeff O'Neill is coming right up.
In 80 years, Esso has supported Canadian hockey with programs like the Esso Medals of Achievement, Esso Fun Days, and the Esso Cup through our long-standing partnership with Canada's national teams. Esso, proud premier partner of Hockey Canada.
The second intermission is brought to you by Canadian Tire, proud partner of Hockey Canada.
James Duthie back with Bob McKenzie and the player formerly known as The Goods.
It's a good
with
nickname.
With our second, it was a good nickname. Did you really tell Gord Miller before the tournament to call you The Goods if he had a chance?
Well, Todd Harvey gave it to me, and I kind of liked it, so I might have said something to Gord. I don't know. Leave me alone.
Hey, we
Let's
respect
get to the
that.
job.
We respect it. We always say this is a 19-year-old tournament until a 16-year-old and a just-turned 17-year-old turn it on its head, which is what Connor Bedard and Matvei Mishkov are doing so far. Let's start with Bedard. We know it's Austria, it's not Russia, Sweden, or the Americans, but what does this performance say to you?
I'm always cautious going into this, James. You hear so much about this kid and him being so young. It's my first time putting eyes on him, but man, this guy, he's just like all the other young superstars, Matthews, McDavid. The edge work, the hockey sense, the knowledge, the puck handling, the ability to shoot the puck. I mean, this one right here, I understand the goaltender's not really in great position, but this is one look at the net and under the bar. everything about him. What's he going to do next year? Scary to think what this kid's going to do next year. I don't know if he's going to set a record for points, but he's so impressive to watch.
Well, and you can say the same thing about Mishkov. Bedard started as the 13th forward. He started as a key part of the Russian attack and has been since it began.
Yeah, and it's going to be great because for as long as these guys play, you would expect that they're going to be linked. It's going to be Connor Bedard and Michkov because they've gone head-to-head on a number of occasions, not the least of which was the Under-18 World Championship in Texas last year. And Bedard had 7 goals in 7 games, a goal a game for a kid that age at the Under-18. Absolutely incredible as we look at some of Michkov's goals here so far in the tournament, which have been very un-Michkov, like driving the net and putting it in. He's a pure sniper, and we haven't seen that as clearly. Even that shot kind of leaked through. But Michkov had 12 goals in 7 games at the Under-18. And then he went to the Ivan Hlinka tournament, which Canada wasn't at this past summer, and he had 8 goals in 5 games. He's just a phenomenal scorer, and he's so different than Alexander Ovechkin in terms of how a Russian elite goal scorer plays, because he's smaller and he's more of a sniper, and Ovechkin just overpowers you.
Be interesting to get to that draft because Michkov has a long contract in the KHL, so if you draft him, you won't get him for 3 extra years. It'll be, I mean, you get him for his prime years, but it will be interesting to see if that makes a difference in the draft. Let's get to our Ponta Podium Teachable Moment, brought to you by Canadian Tire. Coach O, take us through it.
Sabrango behind the net. This is a tribute to number 7 in the rafters here. This is standing operation procedure for him. Just eyes up, go to the strong side, and just fire it right up the middle to Ridley Gregg, who's available. Don't be afraid of this pass. The short pass is always a safe one, but in that situation, eyes up, see the target right on the tape.
We'd usually show a bunch of Canadian goals going to break, but let's give Austria some love. This is a big deal for them and a big deal for Lucas Necessani to score against Canada at the World Juniors. They only had 1 goal in the entire tournament last year. They have 2 already, but a big hole against Canada through 2.
A bit of teamwork, a bit of determination, and a bit of confidence go a long way. Timbits Hockey is proud to support 100,000 kids across Canada each year, giving them a little bit of extra help and a whole lot of fun.
Hi, I'm Dylan Gunther from your Edmonton Oil Kings, and this is cutback and quick release. My drill on the ice involves cutbacks along with lateral skating that finishes with a quick release. Doing a drill like this helps you have deception in the offensive zone, so you're able to go either direction and look for a quick shot on net. It's crucial to continue to practice drills like this because they are useful no matter what level you're playing at.
World Juniors 50-50 is back in Alberta. Last year's total jackpots reached over $38 million. Buy tickets at hockeycanada.ca/5050.
Alberta loves the 50-50s. We did get multi-millions last year, 538,000 already tonight. If you missed it earlier today, the Team USA had to forfeit its game against Switzerland after 2 players tested positive. Now, those players were in separate rooms with roommates, so those 4 players have been isolated. Bob, what has to happen for the Americans to be able to play their game against Sweden tomorrow night?
They need as many players on the team to test negative twice in a 24-hour period. The first test was held this morning. They'll get the results of that later tonight, overnight. The second test will happen early tomorrow morning. Those results will be expedited to Edmonton and back by 4 p.m. on the day of the game against Sweden. So if you get nobody testing positive, then all those players that weren't part of that original group of 4 players, all those players would be eligible to go back in and play against the Swedes. You'd have no problem. But the problem you start running into is, what if I test positive on Team USA? O-Dog's my roommate. He doesn't test positive. He can't play tomorrow night, and neither can I. So it's a matter of which guys test. Are they together in clusters? It's complicated, but you need 2 negative tests to free up these players to play tomorrow night against Sweden.
The good news was no other positive tests among the other 9 teams in the tournament, but we know Omicron is relentless. Connor Bedard is having a night. The only other player, 16 years old, to get a hat trick at the World Juniors, won Wayne Gretzky, who did it twice. Canada up 6-1, the third just ahead.
The second intermission was brought to you by Canadian Tire, proud partner of Hockey Canada.
Your second period scoring summary is brought to you by Canadian Tire. And hey, the Austrians stay even, 1 goal apiece in that period. Canada's power play, by the way, 0 for 2 in that period, 2 for 4 in the game, 5 for 8 in the tournament. Cole Perfetti said they were aiming for 40%. Most gold medal winners are around there, 62.5 so far. Gordon Ray.
All right, thank you, James. You know, you got a Connor Bedard, a 16-year-old playing in the tournament. One of the things that's interesting is a lot of the guys on this team wouldn't know him. They'd have heard of him first, and now they see him up close.
It's always kind of fun to play with new players. Certainly in this level of tournament, it's something that they all think about. They all know about each other, but they all know their own age group. And so here's Bedard, a couple of years younger than everybody else, and he's on this team. And so you see everybody's pretty happy for him. They're like, oh, that's kind of neat. The young guy's got a goal. And then when he gets his second goal, now you've spread your wings a little bit more, and people are happier. They get to be part of the goal. They're like, oh, a nice play. And then by the time you get your third goal, you're finished with the guys you don't know. Now you get to sit with the guys you do know. As he and Kent Johnson, who know each other from Vancouver and have done a lot of skill work together, been on the ice together, get to share Bedard's third goal.
And you see at the bottom there, the first 16-year-old World Junior hat trick for Team Canada since Wayne Gretzky had 2 in the 1978 tournament.
Number 9, I believe,
yes.
In that tournament, the blue jerseys. Where did those blue jerseys go?
I think I know someone who has Gretzky's blue one.
But like, why were they wearing blue jerseys? It's so random.
I don't know. There's been a couple of over the years that you looked at and said, what was the thinking there? But yeah, you're right. The blue darks, and then the white with blue for the home. Yeah, it was. Gretzky woke up that year on Christmas Day, away from his family for the first time, miserable. And Steve Camillini said to him, don't worry, in a couple hours you're going to be playing at the Montreal 4. Man, did he ever. 6 points in that game.
Nice way to start.
Oh, good save. Brochu, 2 quick stops. The first one on Marco Kasper, who's calling for it again. Gets that pass and swings back into his own zone. Kasper lost the puck. Perfetti shoots, scores! And Cole Perfetti, 27 seconds into the period, scores. And the Canadians will pass on the flyby and just go back to their bench.
Assist in the first period for Perfetti after Kasper has a great chance on goal. Nice stop by Brochu on the rebound as well. A turnover in the middle of the ice. Oh, thank you very much, says Cole Perfetti, as the Austrians run into each other. Kaspar's trying to go around his defender, and he hits Urbanek in the foot, and the puck just drops for Cole Perfetti, and it's 7-1 Canada.
And that goal song is back. Ray's silence speaks volumes.
Well, no, it's fine, but, you know, we're at 7 here. I'll tell you, it's not as bad as like in Chicago Stadium. They had that horn, and the first game I played there, the guys were like, man, when they score, be ready for the horn. Well, they scored 9 times. By the end of the night, you never even reacted to it. The horn would go off. It was so loud, you're like, yeah, here it comes again. It's like that cannon.
I was going to say, in Columbus, they got that cannon. Roberto Luongo said he felt like he'd fought in the Civil War one night. There's Neighbors on it. Back to Owen Power. So a 6-goal lead. I was negligent earlier, Ray. We have a long-standing tradition that at a 6-goal deficit, now a chance at a breakaway for Matthias Baum. Baum works in and fires it wide. Another good chance for the Austrians here in the early going.
Sealy blew a shoe in the middle of the ice, and that opened up the...
Muller shoots again, and Brochu has to pounce on that. He's had to make 3 good saves here in the opening minute and a half of the third period.
Well, two really good chances as Matthias Bohm is going to be the beneficiary of Ronan Seeley slipping in the middle of the ice, and when Seeley goes down, there's nobody to cover for him. He's in clear, he's taking a look, he knows he's got a lot of time, he goes to the forehand and shoots it wide of the blocker side of Brochu.
Stankoven for Johnson, flipped that wide. Moved back in by Zellweger. Here's Kent Johnson on it. Sabrango drops it back. Johnson back across. It's knocked out. So for years in international hockey, when there's a 6-goal lead, I've asked you a trivia question. So here it is. You ready? He was the only man to coach Canada to gold at the under-18s, the World Junior, and the World Championship. Under-18s, World Junior.
As the head coach?
Sorry, under-18s, World Junior, and Olympics. Sorry, under-18s, World Junior, and Olympics as the head coach.
There shouldn't be silence. You can still call the game while I think, right?
I was listening to wood burning. Here's Cooley with it.
There's going to be a little more here.
Cooley shoots, tip, score. And is that Bedard again?
Yes, it is.
That's 4 for Connor Bedard. Ties the Canadian single game record. And we've got a ways to go yet.
Bedard's about 5'9". He's pretty stocky at 180 pounds. He likes to play on the inside of the game. And I'll tell you, if you're going to score goals at the next level, as he's already working his way here, is you have to get yourself into the middle of the ice. Too many players that are highly skilled get lost on the outside of the ice. The skill is there, but you've got to get into there to score. That's a really nice play by Will Cooley to throw it to the net, and Bedard steps out to deflect it. We've seen his shot for 3, now his hands, his smarts, his positioning for his 4th one. And Canada's up 8-1.
We witnessed a number of the 4-goal games. Getting to 5 has been tricky. And thus far hasn't been done, so a chance for Bedard to set a Canadian record here tonight. Bedard will return next year as that wraparound try goes astray. Can't be drafted until 2023. Same is true for Matvei Michkov. The difference is Michkov, born in 2004, is a late birthday, born December 2004. So those two are going to have...
one other little wrinkle to the Michkov draft, of course, is he's got a 6-year contract signed in Russia.
SK St. Petersburg, so yeah, he won't be able to play here until 2026, 3 years after his draft year. Here's Bork with it. Slides it back in. Perfetti with a shot turned away by Sommer. Canada approaching 50 shots in the game. Bork knocked down. Plays it back for Sabrango. In for Shane Wright. Plays it back across. Sabrango. No backhand shot, and Perfetti turned away by Sommer.
What a nice stop by Sommer as he continues to battle here. That's his 48th shot that he's faced. Shane Wright makes a nice play to Sabrango. Man, Sabrango's made some really good plays with the puck. He goes across to find Perfetti. And the save is made. Now Bedard starts the play, now gets right back into the middle of the ice. Stick always on the ice. Wide base, feet apart, so he can absorb the contact. Stick down, and it's in the net.
And there's Gunther with a shot, and Sommer knocks that away. Moved up by Tuller. And O'Rourke goes back. So if you have a guess on the man who coached Canada to gold at the under-18s, the World Junior, and the Olympics.
Yes.
Okay.
And I know it's right.
Okay.
Took me 5 minutes. Pat Quinn.
It is Pat Quinn. Olympics in 02, under-18s in 08, 09 World Junior in Ottawa. And Dave Cameron was an assistant coach on that staff, and to this day talks about how much he loved being on Pat Quinn's staff. Woo! Gunther works it back across. A shot scored. Mason McTavish. And that's 9.
After a quiet second period where Canada was tied 1-1 by Austria. A couple of good saves early by Brett Brochu, and Canada's offense is on the roll here as Gouli keeps the puck alive for Gunther, who I thought was going to shoot it, but he makes one extra pass. Gord, we talked about the unselfishness in the first period. Like, Gunther can shoot that puck. He's in tight. Man, that's a good finish from McTavish right on the goal line. He's like, thanks very much. And Gunther's got a couple assists tonight, and McTavish is on the board here.
And Canada legging it out. We mentioned the only other meeting in this tournament between Canada and Austria was in the 1981 tournament. Canada won 11-1. That was the Cornwall Royals representing Canada. The late Dale Howardchuk had 2 goals and an assist in that game as there's a chance for Johnson and a glove save by Summer. That Canadian team finished 7th, did not play well, and as a result, Hockey Canada began the program of excellence, a true Canadian national junior team drawn from players across the country from junior teams and colleges.
There's Gunther. I mean, like, he's 3 feet in front of the net, and he still finds one extra pass. It's a good finish by McTavish.
Now back at the point. Seeley for Power. And Owen Power has to retreat to center ice. Lead pass for Johnson was knocked away. Stankoven rather, for Johnson. And Stankoven now plays it back. Seeley to Power. Drops it back to Seeley, winding in, shoots, Summer save, rebound, score. McTavish again. Starting to sound like the freeway at rush hour in here.
Back-to-back goals for Mason McTavish as Canada attacks off the top. Seeley's shot is stopped, and McTavish is unmarked, and that rebound falls on his stick, and he's able to slam it into the empty side, and it's 10-1 Canada.
Two goals in 47 seconds for McTavish. And now Bedard comes back on with 14.5 to go. With 4 under his belt so far. One of the things about Bedard that's interesting, Ray, is he played in Sweden last year.
Before he went to Regina, won the Western League.
Yeah. He only played 4 games with practice there. And now it's picked up. Zellweger in, shoots, and Summer makes the glove save.
Excellent attack by Zellweger as he's such a mobile guy. He's backing up, but he reads the pass, pivots, turns, jumps up to steal the puck, and then gets a good shot on goal. A second-round pick by Anaheim this past draft.
Can really skate. That's his calling card.
Playing the right side here is somebody has to with all their left-handed shots. He's very comfortable that in Everett plays on the right side, and not a big adjustment so far here for Owen Zellweger.
Time now for the shift of the game, fueled by Gatorade.
Dylan Gunther out of creativity finds Mason McTavish, and then McTavish on the rebound puts a couple of goals in quickly, and McTavish continues his fine play. He will be a load in this tournament as it goes along.
The 3rd overall pick in the 2021 draft is the captain of the Canadian team that won under-18 gold in Texas last spring. Nice drop back. Hengelmuller, a backhand shot that's blocked. Now flipped wide of the goal. Picked up by Oscar Meyer. Meyer. Drops it back to Bauer. That's blocked. The backhand shot goes wide from Meyer, and now played back ahead by Harrell. Harrell holds the line, lost it to Perfetti. Cole Perfetti off now, and he's got Wright with him. In comes Perfetti. Holds, drops, and moving in is Bourque with a shot, scores.
Oh boy. There's 11 for Canada. Watch his play by Perfetti. Once he steals the puck, he's going to go back behind his own feet to keep the play alive. And with Shane Wright driving the net, that opens up the back pass for Maverick Bourque. Perfetti finds Bourque. Oh, this shot is deflected off of Horrell's stick. Yeah, it's as if it isn't hard enough for Leon Sommer.
Maybe no one happier to be here in this tournament than Maverick Bourque, who got injured in October and was told initially it would be 12 weeks, which would have ruled him out for this tournament. But after a couple days, the swelling went down a bit, and they said, you might have a chance. And he got back just in time to play a couple of games before he left for the camp. He had 8 points in those 2 games and then went to the Canadian selection camp.
Here's the play by Perfetti as he keeps it alive back behind his back. And Maverick Bourque comes in late, patient enough to keep that pass lane open, and it's in the net.
Canada's got Germany tomorrow. And 2 games will be played here in Edmonton. As Goulet moves in and shoots at the goalpost. Finland and the Czechs are the first one tomorrow. As Goulet fires again, that's knocked down by Sommer. In Red Deer, Russia will play Switzerland, and the United States, or rather, Sweden will play Slovakia, rather. Still a question mark about the United States against Sweden, as the Americans game today was forfeited as a result of a couple of positive COVID tests. And Bob McKenzie keeping an eye on that story for us. Neighbors drops it back, a shot by Gunther, rebound, and Ridley Gregg put that wide. It's Sweden, USA tomorrow, Slovakia, Russia in Red Deer. As Cormier works in. Cormier throws it into the breadbasket of Sommer, and he hangs on.
Well, now Canada just wants to get to the end of this and play as crisp a game as, or 12 minutes as you can. It's going to be hard. It's hard to, on either bench, to keep yourself into this right now. Austria played a game last night. Now they got to play again, and it's going to be a long night anyway. And probably felt pretty good after the second period. They played a good second period, and then the roof falls in here. 5 in the first, 5 in the third.
That's offside. Some of the greatest celebrations, though, we've seen in this tournament. Denmark winning games late to avoid the relegation round, get to the quarterfinal. 2 of the best medal celebrations in '99 in Winnipeg and 2015 in Toronto. Slovakia winning bronze medals.
Slovakia had the goaltender. Oh, I'm drawing a blank.
Godlick, wasn't it?
Pardon?
Godlick?
Godlick, yes. Yeah. The little guy, he was fantastic. Dennis Godla.
Godla, that's right. Dennis Godla, that's right.
And man, he was fantastic. The crowd was chanting his name. And
so it's, is a bronze medal a big deal for some countries? No, but for them,
oh yeah.
I mean, the Danes winning the game to get to the quarterfinals means a lot. Power drops it back, and that shot ripped wide by McTavish. Now kept alive by Sebrango. And Sebrango drops that back. In comes Bedard now. Connor Bedard. Loose in the corner with it. Bedard throws it back in front. That pass is picked off by Hrubenek. And here's Toller with it. Lucas Toller. Goes out ahead, knocked in by Baum. And back at the point, that's bounced away from Reinbacher, who swings back to pick it up. Being shadowed there by Bedard. And Bedard all over Reinbacher, and then Cooley comes in to finish him off. Here's Toller with it. Up ahead, but Sabrango knocks Auer off the puck. And here's Desnoyers with it. Desnoyers, rink wide pass for Bedard, drops it back for Zellweger, but the play is offside at the Austrian line.
In part by SodaStream. With new Pepsi and 7-Up drink mixes for SodaStream. Now you can stream your favorites on demand.
Back here in Edmonton on a Tuesday night. Day 3 of the 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship. Fired down and icing called against Team Canada, which will take on the Germans tomorrow. Austria's got the Czechs on December 30th, then Germany on New Year's Eve, and that game would normally been the one that the Austrians would have looked to. That game against Germany would have been the one where they would have thought, if we win that one, we stay out of the relegation side and get to the quarters. The Danes were the kings of winning the one game they had to win.
Kept them alive a long time.
Spent 5 years in the top division. That pass missed for Bourque. Another icing call against Canada. And that'll be the second game here tomorrow in Edmonton. Finns, Czechs first, and our coverage of Canada and Germany starts at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific on the networks of TSN. Peters. Well, backhand shot goes wide. At the point, Hrubenek. Back in the corner for Rauer. And a penalty coming. It'll go to Canada. As Lambos touches up, the Austrians will get a power play on a cross-checking call that comes with 9:28 to go here in the third period in Edmonton. Be named a player of the game, but the prize this year is really good. Jason Carter is the Cree artist who's created individual sticks hand-painted for each game for the players of the game from the two teams. His
really cool.
His studio's in Canmore, Alberta, just outside Banff, but just gorgeous sticks. So to be named the player of the game carries a real nice benefit this year.
Of course, it can't be presented
on
the ice, unfortunately, but
we picked them up underneath after the game, but what a keepsake. Now short-handed, a chance for Cooley working in. Cooley shoots, and Sommer fights that off. First power play of the game for Austria comes 9 to go here in the third. A power play goal against Finland scored by the defenseman Martin Hrubenek. And now Cooley back the other way, shovels it in. Brouwer. And across the line, poke check there by Power. And Neighbors sends it down. Reinbacher. Lead pass finds Auer, but he's offside.
The 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship is brought to you in part by the 2022 Chevrolet Silverado, the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Hope you're having a safe, happy, and healthy holiday season wherever you're looking in. Across Canada on TSN on the NHL Network. Power out to center ice. That's Chip back down by Bork. 40 seconds to go in the Austrian power play. Reinbacher flips that down. Out to play it is Brochu. Reinbacher holds the line. Slides that across for Wallner. Reinbacher to Wallner. Works it and shoots. Brochu a pad save, rebound, score! Matthias Baum on the rebound. And Austria's got 2.
Baum had a breakaway early in the third period. He fired it wide in the Austrian power play. Pretty good puck movement here. Nice shot. Right on the right pad by Leon Wallner, who played last year in the tournament. Good save by Brochu, but inside of the defense is Baum. He's able to get the rebound and slide it around the right pad of Brochu. Off the post, nestles into the net. And Austria's got a couple.
You see that celebration for the Austrian kids?
You hear him hooting on the bench. And
well, you and I were there. You and I were there in 2018, South Korea, at the Olympics. The men's team in South Korea, and the salute to their fans at the end of the tournament. The thrill of representing your country.
Yeah, that was something I remember. As Jimmy Peck was the coach, and former Pittsburgh Penguin, he had moved back to Korea for a couple of years prior, and he was in tears as his players saluted him at the end of the game. It was really one of the great moments I remember in a rink. It was amazing.
Now Zellweger shoots at the flex wide. Neighbors with it. That centering pass, Sommer knocks that away. It skips high in the corner. At the 2015 Worlds in Prague, Austria lost to Canada on the last day of the round robin, but would avoid relegation as long as France didn't beat Latvia in overtime. Guess what happened? France beat Latvia in overtime and Austria went down. Cormier with it. Back across to Stankovic. Started the tournament with a bang. Scored Canada's 3rd goal in the first period in his first game in the tournament. Cormier bats at it, knocked down by McTavish. And Mason McTavish flips it in. Pick free by Stankovic. Back he goes to Power. Owen Power. Spins back. Walks in. Feeds it back across, and Stankovic fanned on that. Got taken in by Van E. And Kent Johnson got pumped along the boards by Auer. Van E. Snaps that pass ahead, chipped down by Auer. Brochu has to retreat. Baum taken down. Power gives him another bump. Now moved out by Desnoyers. On comes Bedard. Inside 5 to go. Might be his last crack at a 5th goal here. Bedard seals the wall. Taps it back. And that shot by Seeley deflects wide. O'Rourke steps up, kept the play onside for a moment, but now moved out by Taylor. And back is O'Rourke to pick it up. Cooley had that knocked away. And now Cooley flips it back down to the Austrian zone, and Bedard will go off on a change. Cooley stepped into Toller there, and now Perfetti's got it back. Goal Perfetti. Winds in and holds, drops for the trailer. Zellweger shoots, and the glove save made by Leon Sommer. Power play goal for Matthias Baum and reason to smile for Austrian fans. There's always something new on Crave. Don't miss exclusive shows and the latest hit movies. Streaming this January. New plans start as low as $9.99 a month. .404 to go here in the third period. The lone game here in Edmonton today. Zellweger in the corner to Perfetti. Here's Shane Wright on it. Zellweger works in, feeds it back in front. That rolled through the crease, and now Gooley with it. Caden Gooley to Zellweger. And the bouncing puck knocked back to center ice. That puck bounces into the Austrian bench, and play is called.
So Austria gets a day off before they play the Czechs and the Germans back-to-back at the tail end of their round robin. Canada, Germany tomorrow, a day off, and then the Finns on New Year's Eve.
Never dull when Canada plays Finland.
Never, never. That'll be a good game.
Now a centering pass, a shot taken there by Gregg, swatted away by Sommer. I'm intrigued to see the Czechs and the Finns tomorrow. That'll be an interesting one. Czechs trying to battle back to a tough injury. Lost terrific young defenseman David Jiricek to a knee injury.
They played the last game without Jiricek, plus a couple of suspended defensemen.
Yeah.
Down to 5D.
One of the rare times you've seen the 15 forward, 5 defenseman alignment.
I'm going to say I've never seen 15 forwards dressed. I mean, if you're on that fifth line, you know it's going to be a miserable evening. You're going to sit there, you're going to get cold, your feet are going to get sore, and then at some point the coach is going to throw you out for a shift, and you're going to be like, now? You want me now? Out you go.
McTavish reaching for it. 2:45 to go in the third period. Sabrango. Up ahead to McTavish. Across he goes to Johnson. Good. Put back down the Canadian zone. Zabrango goes back for it. And play called with 2:22 left.
Help us make the game we love more inclusive. Submit your game-changing good deeds today at ChevroletGoodDeedsCup.ca.
Mason McTavish from Carp, Ontario. The captain of the under-18 gold medal winning team for Canada in Texas last spring. The Russians in the gold medal game. 6 players from that team are here. That's unusual for Canada to have that many players who can return next year. There are 7 players who are young enough to return next year, including McTavish, who almost certainly won't.
And Bedard, who most certainly will.
Yes, he's got to wait a year to get drafted yet. So, Cooley up ahead to Bedard. Here's a chance now. Bedard, he's got 4. Bedard taken down, and is that going to be a penalty shot?
No.
I don't know. He was thinking about it. It's a hooking penalty against the Austrians.
You were hoping against hope there.
Well, he kind of put his other hand up for a second. I thought he was going to make the X signal for a penalty shot.
Has great speed through the middle of the ice as Bedard gets outside. And as the defenseman Harrell turns around, he's got his stick between the arms, and down goes Bedard. You're at the point of the game here where the guys that don't play on the power play are going to get out.
And to be, and that's you know, for Dave Cameron.
It's the way it should be. However, when you're with Canada, the guys that are on the power play right now, they play power play most of the year. They just don't play it here.
Right. Exactly. Right. I mean, every defenseman on this Canadian team probably plays 22+ minutes a night.
So now they get to play a little power play here, which is normal for them. And
it's a difficult part of accepting your role on a national team for a country like Canada that's very deep when you're a guy that plays that much.
Bit of an awkward fall for Bedard as he kind of hunches over at the end boards. An awkward little play as he got spun around on the drive to the net.
Seeley swings back. Ronan Seeley drops it off for Gregg. That's picked up by Urbanek. Neighbors in for Gunther. Back at the point is Seeley. Was picked up but stolen back by Gunther and then taken back again by Rauer. Vincent Rauer plays for Dave Cameron with the Ottawa 67s in the Ontario League. And that's shot in by Canada, but from the wrong side of center ice. An icing call with 54 seconds left here in the third period.
Dave Cameron will get Dylan Garand back in the net for the game against Germany.
Get Justin Sourdif back from his suspension. Still a question about Xavier Bourgault, who was injured in that game against the Czechs. Gregg plays it back across. Sebrango, a shot kicked up by Summer, and the puck fired down the ice.
64 shots for Canada.
And the crowd cheers. Bedard is out there. 20 seconds to go. Here comes Connor Bedard. Working in. Bedard, great move. Feeds it across. Desnoyers, no, turned away. That might have hit the post. What a play by Bedard. Now he's got it back. 10 seconds to go. Bedard. Crowd hollering for him to shoot. He does. Summers lost his goal stick. His stick broke on him.
You're going to finish with 4, Connor. That's it. What an afternoon. What an evening for Connor Bedard.
The entire crowd hollering shoot, knowing he had 4, going for a Canadian record with 5.
So with just a few seconds left, he jumps onto the ice and he makes a sweet move here inside around the defenseman. And as he slides it to Desharnais, Desharnais' shot, hits the goal post. And Bedard's going to get one more chance at it, but his stick craters on him and slides wide of the net. Look at this, he's got time. The crowd wants him to shoot it. And whoops.
But 5 goals in a World Junior game has proven to be the horse that can't be rode for Canada. 4 remains the record, and Connor Bedard has a share of it. Time now for the player of the game presentations and then the Canadian national anthem.
The best players of each team is proudly presented by Graham Construction. Each winner is awarded a one-of-a-kind hockey stick hand-painted by one of Canada's most prolific contemporary Indigenous visual artists, Jason Carter. Recipients will receive their award after they exit the ice. The best player of Team Austria is number 23, Vincent Rauer. And the best player of Team Canada is number 16, Connor Bedard.
A lot of people in this building are seeing him for the first time, and they will tell this story for a long time.
First of many.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Canada. Mesdames et messieurs, merci de vous lever afin d'écouter l'hymne national du Canada.
The 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship is presented by Esso, proudly fueling Hockey Canada since 1984. By Nike, official gear of Canada's national hockey teams. By TELUS, we're using the power of our purpose to help make the world a better place. Together, let's make the future friendly. And by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Team Canada. The 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship, brought to you in part by the 2022 Chevrolet Silverado, the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. Chevrolet, find new roads. And by Skip the Dishes. Cheer on our team in true Canadian style with your favorite order on Skip, the official food delivery app of Team Canada. It's game time, Canada. Let's get hungry.
So Group A looking pretty much the way we expected when this tournament started, with the one exception being Germany's 0-2 win over Czechia. Canada and Finland, of course, will play on New Year's Eve, likely to decide first place. Over in Group B, it's a lot more complicated, particularly with the Americans having to forfeit their game today against Switzerland. It's the Swedes perfect at 2-0 and on top of the group so far, and then it gets muddled after that. After just one today, 4 games tomorrow: Finland, Czechia, Slovakia, Russia, Canada versus Germany on TSN 1, 3, and 4. We're back on the air with the pregame show, 4:30 Mountain, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, Sweden versus the U.S. will only happen if the Americans can have enough players who test negative twice over tonight and tomorrow to be able to field the team against Sweden. We won't know likely till late in the afternoon when the results of these second tests come back. 2 positive tests, of course, today for the Americans, forcing the forfeit of that game. Well, if he goes on to have a successful NHL career, which we expect, we'll probably always look back at this night as the night Connor Bedard became a true star in Canada. You've been watching TSN, Canada's sports leader.